Hello. Today I wanted to talk about calling in the goddess for really being able to have a deep self-love and self-honoring, and how that applies to creating the life of our dreams. Especially with regards to how our physical body connects to manifestation and to abundance and to creating miracles. Okay? So really what it comes down to is the more we're in our bodies, the more we can bring our spirit, this goddess fragment of spirit that becomes us, the more we can draw that into our body, the more likely we will be able to also call in our goals or our dream life in this three-dimensional body. And so really, to do that, we need to work on a number of levels. We need to make sure that our physical body is healthy and strong. And we need to be so deeply in love with our body as a temple for our spirit, and honor it so deeply with our words, thoughts, and actions that that goddess, piece of the goddess, won't hesitate to come into it. That there is a warm fire tended at her hearth, the hearth of our womb, our main temple room. That, the pathways are clear for air to circulate through, that the sluices that bring water to the different parts of the temple, the plumbing, are clear, and that water can flow through and be used optimally. That the tissues, the foundations and structure of the temple are healthy and strong and deeply nourished, that they can be shifted as needed or be strengthened as needed without undue effort. So we can, build our muscles with ease. We can pulse the energy through to keep them strong. So when we have all of those aspects of our body temple really strong, then our goddess, our goddesshood, is almost inevitably drawn to coming deeper into our body temple. And for a lot of women, this will be a struggle because we are not used to honoring ourselves so deeply. And I would say at higher levels of this practice, we are more even focused on self-worship. Really worshiping this physical temple as an actual temple for the divine. And we don't usually start there. We may even have difficulty loving ourselves. But when we make that our daily practice and incorporate it into our routine, it becomes a habit, and it becomes a consistent, what's the word I'm looking for? Like pouring in of that self-love into our vessel will fill it up, and will fill up our energy field to where all energy that is not our own naturally falls away. There's just no space for it. There's no space for it in our physical body. There's no space for it in our energy field. There's no space for it in our life. So it becomes a really easeful practice. It's not easy necessarily, especially at first. It takes a real devotion and consistency to the idea behind the practice, to the goal of the practice, which is becoming more embodied, having our goddesshood drawn deeper into our body. And there are a lot of ways that we can do this. Some of my favorite ways I'll just share with you. And the practices that really got me started on this journey and have helped me get to the place where I am now, which is, even though my body has struggles and challenges, I honor those struggles and challenges. Even though I'm aging, I am 40 now and 41 this year, living that long in this body. Yes, there's wear and tear and there's some limitations, but I have learned not only to honor those limitations, but actively worked on transcending them. Sending so much deep love to those limitations that I've been able to bypass them, to move beyond them, most often with some ease and grace, and often with some hard work. So it's this balance of devotion and consistency, curiosity, a willingness to be playful around the practice, and to reframe how we look at our lives. What is the purpose of being on this planet? Is it to fulfill someone else's vision of how we should or could be? Or is it to so deeply embody our goddesshood, to give our goddesshood a deep experience of being in a three-dimensional body? And so in so doing that, being able to radiate with fierce compassion, with deep radiating power, that connection. And from there, making all of our choices, from there, sharing our gifts. And I've found that when we do that, that is most often where the big miracles unfold. We have little miracles every day in life, most of them that we take for granted: our breath, our body, even things we may not like about our life or that we struggle with. We can see them as a miracle. And when we do that, it is easier to call in the bigger miracles, to say, I see this coming to reality, I call it in, and then actually having it be a real thing. Some of us have a more easy time of doing that, and some of us are more naturally geared to do that, but we have blockages around it. Either mental telling us, no, you can't do that, or emotional feeling like I'm not good enough or worthy enough to do that, or physical, we just can't channel that intense energy. So when we can create a container on all three levels, in our physical body, our nervous system being able to channel that powerful magnetization energy through, mentally believing that we are goddesses and that we can magnetize these beautiful miracles, and create a world that supports even more women shifting into goddesshood and men shifting into godhood.